Hi, my name is Solange Hummel, Vice President of the Bell County Texas Democratic Women. I also put out a newsletter called the L&J Texas Ledge Watch for my local county, and I use Progress Texas as one of my go-to resources to know what's important to be talking about and sharing.
It's Monday, February 23rd, 2026, and this is the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch, rapid response on the breaking news stories Texas progressives need to know. I'm Chris Mosier. These have lately been encouraging days, to say the least, for Texas progressives as ever more eye-popping early turnout and the Democratic primary continues to pop. VoteHub has become a go-to source for Texas political wonky types this time around. I'm a fan of their attractive and straightforward layout. See for yourself, link in the show notes. As of this morning, statewide, just shy of 545,000 Democratic ballots have been cast. That's just over 87% of the total number of Democrats who voted in Texas in the entire last midterm primary in 2022, with 5 days of early voting and Election Day on March 3rd still to go. Quite remarkable, even as Republicans also see a bit of a surge from the last time. Just under 441,000 have shown up, which only represents 43% of their 2022 total. The ever-reliable Michelle Davis at Lone Star Left appears reluctant to jinx all of this by getting too excited. Some basic facts here. Democratic turnout is over double its 2022 pace, while Republican turnout is up about 13.5%. That's a striking and significant contrast. Here's another fact that might bring things back to earth just a bit. Democrats outpaced Republicans in the 2008 presidential cycle, too, and Texas ended up voting for John McCain over Barack Obama 55 to 43% that year. Exciting times, yes. But this is far from over. A lot of this blue momentum is happening in North Texas and in Tarrant County in particular. Talk about eye-popping. As of this morning, Tarrant Dems have already turned out in numbers well past the end total of the 2022 midterm. Almost 53,000 ballots cast in Tarrant County as of now, almost 136% beyond where they finished that year, and calculated for this stage in the early voting period, a whopping 252% increase. Tarrant County Democratic Party Chair Dr. Allison Campolo took to Twitter to share some thoughts yesterday. She credits the state party and new chair Kendall Scudder, quote, for being in the right place at the right time to meet this moment, unquote, and points to an anemic Republican turnout on the only Saturday of the early voting period as a sign that the blue team genuinely has the momentum at the moment. She also points to great data and graphs provided by Texas political analyst Chris Tackett. See the show notes for that. It's hard not to now see Taylor Ramet's unexpected SD9 win, not as a special election fluke, as Republicans would have you believe, but as an early indicator of what early voting data is now telling us. Texas in general, and Tarrant County in particular, appear to be seeing a broad awakening of Democratic voters, both those who have tuned out for whatever reason and younger voters getting into gear with more vigor than prior generations might have. There's a union connection here, too. Benjamin Warmond at the Houston Chronicle notes that Ramet's union bona fides were central to his message to Tarrant County voters, and that message was clearly received. He's made history as the very first rank-and-file union member to be elected to the Texas Senate. At least 16 union members are running for office at present across the Lone Star State, and the AFL-CIO says that's the largest slate of labor candidates in recent memory, coinciding with a 25-year peak in union membership in Texas. So Team Tarrant is killing it, but Dallas County Dems next door are on the move too, actually at a similar pace to Tarrant County. They've also outdone their 2022 grand total and are currently up about 251% from this time that cycle. Other hotspots around Texas include Montgomery County, north of Houston, up 220%. Denton County, up 291%. Williamson County, north of Austin, is up 312%. And look at Ellis County go. South of Dallas, Ellis is up 364% from this time in the 2022 midterm Democratic primary. Again, all very exciting, and that a Democratic fire appears to have been lit. At this point, we watch to see if that fire continues to spread between March and November. As Progress Texas shared with you over the weekend, State Rep and Democratic gubernatorial candidate Gina Hinojosa of Austin has requested a legislative oversight inquiry to release the body cam footage of the South Padre Island Department of Homeland Security-related shooting of 23-year-old San Antonian and U.S. citizen Ruben Ray Martinez on March 15th of last year. The Texas Tribune isn't getting much from those Texas departments. The Texas Rangers say only that they're still investigating, and DPS is saying nothing. Also tight-lipped on this are Governor Greg Abbott, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, and House Speaker Dustin Burrows. The watchdog group American Oversight was behind uncovering all of this, and their executive director Chioma Chukwu highlights the inconsistencies between an emerging pattern of multiple citizen deaths at the hands of immigration agents, in contrast with DHS and Texas state government messaging that attempts to portray a situation of increasing citizen violence against officers. Both Congressman Joaquin Castro and San Antonio Mayor Gina Ortiz Jones are also calling for a full investigation into the killing of Ruben Ray Martinez and the apparent interdepartmental cover-up of federal involvement that followed for most of a year afterward. Speaking of opportunistic political framing, KERA in Dallas is reporting that a federal trial for 9 Texans linked to a July 4th shooting outside an immigration detention center restarts today, following last week's mistrial called by Judge Mark Pittman, who took umbrage with the defense attorney's T-shirt featuring civil rights imagery. Supporters of the defendant say they were engaged that day in a noise demonstration, while the Trump Justice Department is seeking to portray the group as an Antifa cell that plotted to kill ICE agents. Some defendants face life in prison for attempted murder and domestic terrorism, marking a first for federal cases involving Antifa ideology. Judge Pittman has said that he will personally conduct jury selection today, which is an unusual move that legal experts note might lead prospective jurors to be more deferential and less candid than they would be when questioned by attorneys, potentially affecting the outcome of the trial. Stephen Monticelli explores the situation for the Texas Observer. He finds that the trial of the so-called Prairie Land 19 marks a dangerous turning point for civil liberties as the Trump regime attempts to utilize terrorism charges to set a precedent of criminality related to common protest activities. Prosecutors are framing the use of encrypted signal messaging, first aid kits, and black clothing as evidence of a militant terror cell, a logic that legal experts warn could transform mainstream activism, imagery, and thought into a felony. By labeling a decentralized ideology like Antifa as a domestic terror group, a designation that does not exist in federal law, the administration is attempting to create a legal framework that would allow the ensnaring of individuals for their political beliefs and associations rather than for their direct actions. Freaky read in the Texas Observer, linked in the show notes. Our mission at Progress Texas is to improve and save Texans' lives by acting on our shared, bold, progressive values, and that starts with countering the billionaire and corporate-funded conservative disinformation machine. While we enjoy the support of hundreds of partners, chances are that you, dear listener, haven't joined the team yet. If you're a regular, please accept our invitation to come on board as a sustaining monthly supporter, like Elizabeth Causey, Kimberly Staffieri, and Teresa Boisseau all have. Join them and us at progresstexas.org/donate right now. Early voting in the 2026 primary is underway and continues through this Friday, February 27th. Election Day is coming up Tuesday, March 3rd, and runoffs are likely beyond that. See the show notes for a ballot form from the Texas Tribune that works with your home address to show you who's running in the primary in which you choose to vote. Everything you need to know about voting in Texas can be found at govotetexas.org. Since the new year, Progress Texas has devoted coverage and advocacy to the issues you're passionate about, and like no other outlet, has given you direct access to the candidates in the biggest races in the country, Texas legislative, statewide, and federal elections. Join us as we work to raise $14,000 over the month of February. Whether you give $35, $100, or $500, any contribution brings us closer to our goal and ensures Progress Texas can advance our Project 2026 plans, which include Spanish media expansion and our expansion of our radio footprint across Texas. And while you're at the website, snag some merch to match your values. Our web store is live and ready for you to grab some newly released Humans Against Abbott, Y'all Means All, and Revolution shirts, stickers, and buttons. Hit the web store at progresstexas.org to support your favorite podcast network today. That's the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch for this Monday, February 23rd, 2026. Links to all these original stories can be found in our show notes. Progress Texas is an independent, nonprofit, rapid response media organization. While campaigns come and go, we're the permanent home for progressive media in action in the Lone Star State. I'm Chris Mosier. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day and a great week, and we'll see you again tomorrow morning.